And talking about pay-per-views, your next big moments at the Royal Rumble 1995, where you helped Jeff get the win and the Intercontinental title over Razor Ramon's Scott Hall. Dogg, first off, what can you tell us about your experiences with Scott Hall?
Yeah. Look, I touched on it before. Scott was friends with my brother Steve in Japan. He had met my brother Brad and my father, but he wasn't great friends with them, but he was good friends with my brother Steve. And so when I got there, and look, I also got there and started working right away with Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and X-Pac and Jeff Jarrett, and you know what I mean, the kind of the upper echelon of people that were there at the time. So I got right in there with them, and that helped me a great deal. But I still had no clue what I was doing. I was just around some great people and trying to take what I need and leave the rest, and then do my best out there every week.
It's a huge moment in your career.
I'm sorry, we were talking about Scott Hall. I'm sorry. I touched on it briefly, and then I rambled. I did the old DC dip and twirl. But Scott will be missed. Scott was a great Razor Ramon is one of the best characters. It's right up there. Think about it with Stinking Kane or Undertaker. Like Razor Ramon was one of the cool. It was at the end of that character era, but it was one of the cool ones. You know, they didn't Duke the Dumpster, the real Double J. Some of us, the Goon. Some of us didn't quite catch on, but that did. And what a superstar he was, and what a career he had. You know what I mean? Like I'll miss Scott 100% because man, we had some great times together. Of course, we had some times that weren't so great together also, but that builds a relationship, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm gonna have to dig and press. Talk to me about one of these conflicting times. We got a little bit. I mean, you brought it up. I got to get into it. As everyone is a Scott Hall fan. I think that's the biggest interesting thing is every wrestling fan. I think every single one. Maybe there's two that aren't, but like everyone loves Scott Hall. That guy just transcended what it was to be cool.
Yeah, and he was cool, right? That was the whole thing. And he always said, like, I try to sell like a man. He said, I used to watch your brother Steve. He sold like a man. And I never really knew what he was talking about, but it was like, you know, he makes you chop him down. He goes down, but still grabbing at you, like he's fighting you the whole time. You know what I mean? And so, look, I learned a ton from Scott Hall. Most of them unwritten rules about the industry that just kind of exist, and they don't. A lot of the people today don't know them.
So going back, that huge moment in your career, pay-per-view, involved with the Intercontinental title, Jeff gets the win. How happy were you for Jeff, and what was the celebration like that night?
I'm sorry, I was just sending you a text. So look, the celebration was what it was every night, to be quite honest with you. Jeff drank a lot. I took a lot of pills and smoked a lot of dope, and we went to the next town and did it again. And look, that's what I mean by not fully comprehending the scenario that I was in professionally, not fully and taking it for granted, to be quite honest with you, because I was young and dumb and loved the wrestling business and just wanted to be a wrestler. You know what I mean? And that's where I was at. That's where I was at right now. Fresh out of the Marine Corps, working in pay-per-views, winning Intercontinental titles, or helping Jeff win the Intercontinental title. Like, holy mackerel. When I was in the military, I watched a Survivor Series at my brother Brad's house when he lived in Charlotte. And the WWF at the time was the hugest thing I'd ever seen. And now here I am, literally like 7 years later, on the same stage as those guys. Just incredible time in my life.
We're like a month in on the gimmick,